Hello, praises, honor, and glory to our Lord Jesus Christ. I wanted to make this video and share a dream with you all that the Lord gave me earlier this week. So in the dream, I was standing in what looked to be a corporate cafeteria, open space, white floors, white walls, people coming and going. Looked like some serving stations, on the other side of the wall and whatnot. And there was a man walking by me, and apparently in the dream I knew the man. So in passing, I asked him, "Hey, what you got?" He goes, "Oh, I got a cookie." And I said, "Oh, cookies. Cookies sound good. I'm gonna go to McDonald's and get me a couple cookies." And so as he walked by, I looked down and I noticed that in my hands I had 4 pieces of paper. Okay, two pairs folded in half, exactly like this. Okay, and I walked towards the serving stations, and I was met by Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris said to me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to get cookies." And she goes, "Oh, cookies, that sounds good." And I said, "Oh, you want some?" And she said, "Sure." And I said, "Okay, well, I'll get 2 for you and 2 for me." And she said, "Well, do you have enough money?" And when I looked down, I opened my hand, and in the palm of my hand were 4 $1 bills. And I said, "Yeah, I have enough." And she looked down and she said, "No, you don't." And I said, "Yeah, I do." And she said, "No, you don't have enough to cover the tax." And I looked at her kind of puzzled, and she said, "Well, let me give you some money." And I thought she was going to reach in her purse, but she didn't. She walked away, and she walked over to kind of looked like, where they got in a cafeteria where they got the cashier and stuff like that. But there wasn't any cashier over there. So she reached her hand in the drawer and scooped out a bunch of change. And so she came and she took the coin change, she put it in my hand, and I started counting it. And so when I was done counting it all, and I kind of divided it by 4, and it came out to about, 80 cents per cookie. And in the dream, I knew that the cookies were about 80 cents. So that's why I thought that $4 would cover the tax of the cookies. So as when I counted everything up, I was about to leave, and then she said, "Oh, well, I'll go get the cookies." And so I gave her all the money. I said, "Okay." I gave her all the money, and she walked out. Now, from that point, I turned around and I walked back toward where I was standing when the dream started. Now, in front of me there's a big window that spans the entire wall. Now, I couldn't see it because it was to my back when the dream started, but as I, walked over there, I'm looking out the window, and I could see down to the ground level. So I was on the 2nd or 3rd floor, and I could see down to ground level where there was a McDonald's, and I can see through the windows, and I can kind of see into the lobby, and I could see the line in front of the register. And she walks up and gets into the back of the line. And somebody walked up to me in the dream and was like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm waiting on some cookies. Kamala's down there in line, to get us some cookies." And, and I looked down there, and she was in line at that point, and she waved. She looks up at me and she waves, and then she's smiling, and then she turns her head back towards the front of the line, and the dream ended. Okay, so I just need to let you all know that, number one, this has nothing to do with my political affiliation, because I have no political affiliation. From my perspective, there's the kingdom of heaven, and then there's the kingdom of darkness, right? That's about as far as my politics go, okay? I've never had a dream about anything concerning politics in my entire life. Never had a dream about any presidents, past presidents, anything like that, okay? And I'm not going to vote. I haven't voted in over 20 years. Because when I was in the military, I quickly learned about foreign policy and about what our government does in other nations, okay? So from that point forward, I had no interest in voting for anybody, okay? But what compelled me to share this dream was the timing, okay? I had this dream at the beginning of this week, okay? Whatever day the presidential debate was, it was that morning, okay, early in the morning, that I had the dream. and I woke up immediately when the dream ended. I woke up maybe around 4:30 in the morning or whatever. So it wasn't until later on in the evening, when I was, checking out some independent media channels, that I saw, like, you know, the average, them, talking about the upcoming debate. I didn't even know there was a debate that day. Okay. And so that's what compelled me to make this video and